Fear destroys intelligence. Fear prevents you from observing, questioning, inquiring. It prevents you from finding out what is true. The world wants you to be afraid. The world does not want you to think for yourself. The world does not want you to be free to find out what is true. Why? Because if you are free, you would be a dangerous citizen. You would not fit into the established pattern. You would bring awareness to these systems that condition the mind to be dull, stupid, and dependent. And we wonder why most people in this world are lost and don't trust themselves. What is up, family? Welcome to another episode of the Quote Breakdown. This is Anthony Minaya speaking. I want to welcome everybody to the show. YouTube, what is up? Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Also, to my audio listeners, please leave a review if you can on the platform you're listening to this on. Please leave a review. Share it with the people you know. Share it with people you love, right? Share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Promote it on your social media. And let's just get right into the show. The caption on this post is: most people in this world are lost and don't trust themselves. We live in a broken system that since birth promotes fear. If you are afraid, you would just sit and follow what other people say, and you look crazy if you question it. This is why it's important to learn how to think and not just what to think, right? If you know how to think, you will become free. When you are free, you become clear. When you become clear, you start to understand yourself and the problems of the world. You will move with purpose, real confidence, and without fear. Hashtag freedom. Let's dive into this, right? On this post, I put: fear destroys intelligence, because intelligence is a free mind. You are intelligent when you are a free mind. When you question everything, when you observe seriously, and you allow problems to play out, right? You connect yourself with the problems. You're not trying to avoid the problems. You become one with your problems. That means if you look at yourself in third person for a second, right? You take yourself out of your body and you see yourself addressing these problems, you will see how it plays out. You allow it to play out, and you will study where it comes from. Why did this come about? Why is this happening, right? How did I get to this point? You will start to see the moves you make. You become very aware. You want to know. That's an intelligent person, right? An intelligent person wants to know the facts of what's actually going on, right? But fear prevents that. Fear cuts off of that, right? Fear cuts that off, and then now you latch on security, and you latch on comfort, right? Because you're afraid to think the problems out, because you're afraid to look at the problems. If you're afraid to look at the problems, then the problems will always exist, because what you're doing is escaping from it. So fear destroys intelligence, right? The world wants you to be afraid. The world does not want you to think for yourself. The world does not want you to be free to find out what is true. Now, just think about a world where everybody has a free mind. Just think about a world where everyone is thinking out the problems and they're studying the systems that are created in this world, the intentions behind the systems. They're starting to see these problems play out within themselves and the problems in the world. If you see the problems of the world, you start to see how we are we are destroying ourselves, right? The moves we're making, we're destroying ourselves by making these certain moves. And then we would study where those moves come from to begin with, right? So we would see the problems of the world, we would see the intentions behind the problems, and then we would see the actual problem, right? But the world doesn't want you to be that way, right? The world does not want you to be that way. And here I say in the post, why? Because if you are free, you would be a dangerous citizen. You would not fit into the established pattern. You would bring awareness to these systems that condition the mind to be dull, stupid, and dependent. Think about since birth. You are told certain ways to live. This is right, this is wrong, right? Just think about the systems that your parents put you through, or the systems that are created, the school systems, the education systems, the um, uh, many different systems in this world, right? So many systems that are in place, right? The school system, the job system, right? What it is, how to be, the laws that are in place, what's right, what's wrong, what you should believe in, what you should follow, what's the right way to think, right? All these things are in place. Now, what happens is when you are afraid and you live in fear because of these things, I'm afraid to do this because I will get in trouble by this, or they say if I do this, I won't be able to do this. It's like, hey, if you're naughty, right? Santa's not gonna bring you presents. Remember that? Remember that? When Santa is not going to bring you presents, if you're bad, and this is a fear, scare tactic in order for you to behave properly, in order for you to get these presents, right, by Santa Claus, it's the same thing, right? So now it destroys all intelligence when you are afraid, when you live in fear, when you buy into that, because now you stop observing, you stop questioning, you stop inquiring, you stop allowing, you don't see the problems to lay out. You don't see what's actually going on. You just accept what is. Now, if you was a free thinker, the world doesn't want people like this, right? It's too much. It's too much. A lot of these systems, you start to bring awareness to the systems that condition the mind to be dull, stupid, and dependent at all times, always dependent on this system in order for me to live my life. And there's a problem there, right? Because I'm not thinking for myself. I just eliminated all forms of creativity. I'm no longer creative. I can't think problems out. I'm always dependent on a person or this thing or this belief system. I'm always dependent on something in order for me to live my life. So I always feel like I don't have control. And we wonder why most people in this world are lost and don't trust themselves. We wonder why, because there's no foundation. There's nothing back in yourself. You don't trust yourself enough to make a move. You don't trust yourself enough to be able to achieve. The second that you have to understand, when you are dependent on something all of your life, you've built the habit to become dependent on something. All of your life, you built this habit. The second someone says it's time for you to be independent, as in psychologically independent, rely on yourself for your own fulfillment, rely on yourself for your own happiness, rely on yourself for your own money or your own responsibility. Everything's on you to figure this stuff out. The second you give that responsibility to someone, the second you tell somebody to no longer be dependent after years and years of building the habit of being dependent, they crumble. They become afraid. They don't know what to do. They don't trust themselves to be able to move forward in a real way. Oh, me? I won't be able to do that. I can't do that. I can't achieve that. They don't believe it themselves. They don't see it within themselves because they always been dependent. They always been dependent on something. They always leeching on something for psychological happiness, right? Happiness, psychological happiness, financial, right? Support me financially. There's so many things that people depend on for years and years and years, dependent on this particular thing. The second it's time to become independent, people don't trust themselves. This is why fear destroys intelligence. And we wonder why people are lost. Most people are lost in this world, and why most people don't trust themselves. And then when you question it, when you try to question certain things, people say, "Oh, you crazy for that. Why are you doing that? Don't go too far. Don't do that." We never question that. See, from moment to moment, a person who lives in fear relies on security and comfort as a way of life. Every moment they're trying to be secure and safe, right? They're not thinking free. And therefore, there will always be problems because from moment to moment, if you're thinking that, you start chasing escapism, right? Because you live in fear, you allow all these problems to play out because you don't understand how these problems formulate. So you build a habit of escaping, and that escapism is when you search for happiness from moment to moment to moment to moment, and which that brings more pain because happiness does not last. Happiness is a certain moment, and people want that moment every time, but life is all about all emotions, right? People are walking around not knowing the meaning to their existence, and that's what's stopping them from moving forward. They don't know the true meaning of their life. They never actually looked at themselves because they've been dependent on a certain thing for so long. When it's time to think for yourself, when somebody's speaking a message, think for yourself. Start questioning things. Start observing. People become afraid. It's taking them out of that illusion. It's taking them out of that security. It's taking them out of that comfort. And they don't want to hear the fucking facts. But guess what? I'm here to tell the facts because I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to hear. And this will change your life completely because it changed mine and it changed everybody else who see the fucking facts. Listen, this is why it works. This is why it's very important to understand what I'm saying. Because when you understand what's going on in your life, when you become aware from moment to moment, your true intentions of what it is that you're trying to do, when you become aware from moment to moment to moment to understand and allow the problems to play out, connect yourself with the problems, not escape from it, connect it, you start to see why you do what you do. And now you can understand and solve these problems. And more importantly, you can understand the problems of the world. And that is why you will move with real purpose, you will move with real confidence, and you will move without fear because you understand what's actually going on. And you have everything inside of you to address the problem, right? And imagine if the world, the entire fucking planet, thought this way. Just imagine how much of a different world we'll have. Just imagine where we would be. But it starts with you, right? It starts with you to changing your ways. And it starts with you with seeing this as truth or false and allowing this to play out and not just attacking it and bashing it based on your biased beliefs. Because a conditioned mind cannot see reality. A conditioned mind sees what it wants to see. It doesn't want to see the truth. It sees what it wants to see and it will call it as truth. And then when you really dive into it, it's all based on fear, comfort, and security. A protection of something. And that's what I have for you guys today. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. It means a lot. YouTube, thank you so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. My audio listeners, please share this on social media. Tag me up. Let me know what you thought about it. Leave a review on the show. It means a lot to me if you can do so. That being said, I catch you guys next time. Thank you so much. Peace.